This is my yellow resin geode filled with crystals, gold, and layers of detail. In this video, I'll show you how to make one step by step. Alrighty, so I start by doing some sketches of some different designs that I like, and I decided to go with that one. So I have my wooden panel, and I'm just gonna underpaint it where the crystals are gonna be. So I'm doing white area in the center, and then I'll be using yellow citrine crystals. So I'm making a half circle line of them, and that the white's gonna have glass on it. I'm gonna use this fire glass. It's a 1/4 inch thick, and I'll have all the items I can listed in the description with the links. And this is the citrine. I got this on Temu. I bought 4 pounds of it, I believe. Each bag is 1 pound. And I've been excited to use this. I'm not used to doing anything in yellow. I usually stray from yellow, so this was a fun project for me. I'm first going to adhere the crystals to the side because it's a 2-inch thick panel. I'm just using a glue gun and putting down the glue and then pressing down pieces of crystals. And I do the same for the other side. I realized it was a lot easier to start at the bottom and work your way up. And I'm just pouring out the bag of crystals, which worked out perfectly for the amount. And I use a big paintbrush to get everything into place. And then I put the fire glass on the center, and I do the same thing with the brush. I'm mixing up some resin, and I use a popsicle stick. I cut the end off so it's easier to work with. Just, you can direct it, I guess, in a better way. And I kind of do like a cross-hatching technique with the resin. You just want to get every stone and piece of glass in some resin. You don't want to drench it though and just pour it on top. So you want to just drizzle it. And then some will come off the sides, and you can just use a paper towel to wipe that up. And here we go. So I made a few mistakes at first. This was my first attempt. I'm doing the gold, white, and yellows, and it looks really cool here. And unfortunately, that gold in the center just kept dripping down, and that really bothered me. So I decided I was going to do another layer. So I'm starting with the white pigment paste, and then for the gold, I'm using a metallic powder as well as a metallic resin paste. And I found some yellows. I have this yellow mica powder, and this is a yellow resin pigment. And then I have these Morandi resin dyes. They're opaque dyes that I've been looking forward to using. So I'm mixing up some more resin and mixing up the white. And I have the yellow. So I knew I was gonna make a light yellow and a darker yellow. I wanted this to be lighter, so I added some white. And here's the gold. And then this is the darker yellow. So I start with the gold, and I decided to outline both the citrine and the glass. And I'm using a popsicle stick to push it against the stones. Oh, and I forgot to mention the big thing that I changed here is that I taped up the sides with blue tape. That way the resin could stay in place and that gold wouldn't come off the sides. So I used the white and the yellows. And it's all kind of staying in place and it looks nice. And then I realized, I'm like, oh my God, it is coming off the sides. And I realized the tape was coming down. And so I tried using more tape to back it up and make it stronger, but it just was not working. I think because the sides I had sanded and it was bare wood, and for some reason it was not sticking. So this was definitely a struggle. But a lot of the resin just poured off the sides, so it made the sides look really nice. And of course I ended up just taking the tape off. But I was definitely fighting for this piece. I'm just kind of babysitting it and using a heat gun to get all the bubbles out. I was trying to fix areas, but it just wasn't working out too much. So the next day, I'm using this gilding paint that I got at Michael's. This stuff works amazing. You can just paint over resin or glass. And I like to just paint parts of the glass, and I think it looks really cool. It looks like just metal chunks coming out. I do gold leafing a lot of the times in this area, but I thought this gold paint would work great. And as you can see, the gold in the center totally dripped off, even worse than before. But I am going to put on some quartz. So I kind of go through my bag of quartz and pick out ones that look nice. And I usually do 3 that are varying in shape and size. And this one I'm just going to do 1 cluster because it's a smaller area. And I use a hot glue gun to put them on. And then I have these glass chips that I got from Amazon. And I just use them to put on top of the glass. That way there's kind of layers of glass and it's not as just chunky. It looks more natural, I think, and crystalline. And again, I use a brush to put everything in place. And mixing up some more resin. And we're doing glitter lines. So I picked out my gold That's a little brighter gold than I usually use, but I thought it would go good with the yellow. And I'm mixing in some resin. You don't want to mix in too much resin. You kind of want to pour some in, mix it, and then pour more as needed. But you want it to be able to pour out like of a cup if you were to tip it. Because I'm going to put it in a squeeze bottle like that, and you want it to make a nice line. But if you put too much resin in, the line will just spread out thicker. So the less resin, the tighter the lines you can make. And I'm just going around the glass. And the citrine. It's nice, when things are off center or skewed to one side or dripping off, you can use the glitter lines to kind of balance things out and put them more in place, I think. So I sat there a while. I was unsure exactly where to put the lines, but I decided to go in between the yellow and white. And sometimes I get a little too serious about putting the glitter lines right over the resin lines, but it's not necessary. You can put the glitter lines wherever you want. So I'm adding some resin to those glass chips. And today is the best day because it's marker day. And that's my favorite day. So I'm using my favorite marker, Deco Color Gold paint marker. And this is just a white acrylic paint marker. And I like to go around all the glitter lines, just one side of them. And I extend everything off to the sides as well, so it flows nicely. And I just love the way this marker shines. And it really makes the piece pop. The first day of marker lines is my favorite because you just kind of follow the glitter and don't have to think too much. So now I'm just debating where to put the next line. And I wanted to put one line in the center of the dark yellow. And then I'm doing some white lines. I try to watch myself because sometimes I just get carried away with the marker lines. And that's what it looks like. See how the sides came out pretty good. So I'm mixing up some resin, but I'm also taking some crushed glass that I got from Amazon. And once again, just making another layer of glass on the center. It kind of makes it, I think it makes it look more like a crystal, but I realized that I put too much on there and it was blocking up some of the quartz, so I had to brush off some. But you're gonna wanna drizzle the resin on top again. And then I'm doing a layer of clear resin. And you want to always make sure your surface is level. So I'll check, and even if I've worked on it once, I check again because things shift and they change. And I swear to you, I constantly am like, how is it not level? But it's good to always confirm. So I'm using some diamond dust. This is another one of my favorite things to do, which after I put the resin on top of the glass, I just sprinkle a bunch of diamond dust on top, and that just makes it sparkle times 10. It's insane, and it looks so beautiful. So this is the next day, and this is the second day of marker lines, and I'm just going over the same exact lines that I did and making a second layer of lines. So this layer is gonna be flatter, it's gonna be more smooth, and it's gonna cause like a little shadow underneath the line that gives the piece depth. It looks like the line is almost going through the resin. So I just think it makes it look a lot better. I also added a couple white lines I thought it needed. And I'm gonna do another layer of resin. And I put some more on the glass because I realized I wanted to add more of the diamond dust. And I make sure the resin is on the sides evenly and spread everywhere. And then that's me using a torch and sprinkling some more diamond dust. And there she is. Her name is Gloria. She was a Gloria as soon as I started working on her for some reason, so it fit. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and please comment and follow. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you next time.